Welcome back to another episode of DWD's Trapcast. First episode of the month. There will be two. That's a promise, I think. Let's introduce the room. We got
your boy Dom.
We got Dre here.
Kaylee.
and then that's all good. Okay, let's talk about. There's a couple things I want to talk about actually. Drayton, what is your opinion on NFTs actually?
I don't know much.
Maybe you don't.
I don't know much about them. I think it's another way for money laundering and just like more
Me too.
stocks and shit. Or
Going a little more in depth in NFTs or whatever, because I've been seeing them pop around and stuff like that, and I don't know if I fully understand it.
I don't. To me, it seems like a scam too. I don't know how NFTs legitimately sell for like 100,000 each, and like there's no. You own digital code. Like if the whole point, it's like a giant Ponzi scheme because like everyone is buying them in an attempt to resell them at a higher value, but then the person who buys it for the most gets fucked over because they realize there is no value type shit. You know what I'm saying? But everyone's out there trying to convince people there is value in them. And they are like environmentally like harmful. Like, you know, like Bitcoin is, like cryptocurrency is. It's just a form of cryptocurrency realistically. But
so it's just basically crypto. Is it like a meme basically?
A meme?
I don't know. I thought I seen like some people posting funny pictures with their NFTs, and I thought it was like people making memes to make money off of it basically.
I don't know. It's all a joke to me. But why I even brought it up, though, because this is what I find interesting. Facebook is trying to go heavy into the NFTs and the metaverse, so called. And Mark Zuckerberg, like last week, had one of the biggest drops in like history, stock-wise. They lost like $30 billion.
Oh yeah, I seen that shit. I laughed.
Right?
It's good.
It's
good
because they're like first showings back of the metaverse is showing that it's not going to make as much money as they promised and shit. And like, I don't know, it's crazy. The only other time there's been like more money lost was when like Elon Musk tweeted that he was about to sell his stocks. But that's crazy. $30 billion in one day.
I'd throw up.
Bro.
If I'm losing okay, so NFT stands for
how much money he has to
fungible token.
Yeah, like what it is, it's like a digital autograph almost kind of, because you're basically okay. So someone will make an NFT. It can be any digital like asset, like any artistic thing, and then they can get it minted. They can do that, and they can make 500 of them, right? And then so each one is like one of four, like, you know, 1 of 500, 2 of 500, 3. And then that's when it becomes like collectible. People want the rarest NFTs just to kind of flex, but it's like at the end of the day, none of it means anything because, like,
it's just,
for example, the first tweet ever got turned into an NFT, and it's Jack Dorsey. He's the creator of Twitter, and that NFT sold for like $2 million. And all it is a screen cap of that tweet. It's like anyone has access to that. But this person who bought it now has the access and the 1 out of 1 mint by Jack Dorsey that's the first Twitter NFT. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, but he can try to sell that off. You know what I'm saying? And then usually how NFTs are worked, every time it gets sold, 10% of that goes back to that original person who sold it in the first place. So
it is like a Ponzi scheme.
So every time it's getting sold for like $2 million, and then this person sells it off for $3 million, that sale, the original artist is getting 10% of that. So it's like they want them to keep influencing, be like, yo, these are worth something, because the more they're getting bought and sold, the more money they're even making.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree. That it could be a money laundering scheme or whatever. Because you have one of your own people putting money into it.
The only way to buy it is to buy Ethereum. Like that's like the third leading cryptocurrency. You can't buy Bitcoin or anything else like that. It has to be Ethereum. And
do you see Bitcoin dropped like a crazy amount?
all the
What from what?
cryptocurrencies are. Like,
Yeah,
because
it's nuts. I mean,
China
I'm
just put
invested.
out a ban basically, and when that happened, crypto Bitcoin dipped from 60,000 to 40,000. Like
It was at
30,
like 35
it went
and
down
all
to
that,
30.
and
yeah.
I watched it literally jump back up to like I don't know what it's at, but it jumped up like $2,000 in less than like 30 seconds. I'm like, holy fuck!
That's nice. I want to start investing in stuff, but that's a long con. That's a
It
long
is.
man.
It is. I mean, through my job, I mean that's
No,
all my
patience.
401k is.
Really?
Yeah, and I know guys right now. One of my bosses, he has 1.6 million in stocks, and he's been
Did you see that athlete who their cryptocurrency deal? You know what I'm talking about? It was an NFL player, I forget, but he got his like $700,000 contract in Bitcoin, and because it crashed, it only ended up paying out $37,000.
oh
Instead of
hell, no.
$700,000. Like, bro,
Oh, I'd be so mad.
right? Like,
I'd be going
That's
right back to
crazy.
them. I'd be going right back to them. Man, I'd be sick. I'd be sick. I literally.
you know damn well that money was spent. Like, if he had $700,000 coming, not know.
Yeah. He probably bought a bunch of shit or whatever.
He's like, well, there goes the car, there goes the house.
Man, that's like that one kid or whatever who he said he was negative.
That's
know,
how-
a couple millions or whatever. And he
Mhm.
killed himself,
That's
and it was just an error.
actually how 50 Cent got out of debt when Bitcoin started first blowing up, because back in like 2008 or 10, he took Bitcoin payments as for digital albums and shit.
Really?
Yeah, and they just sat on it until it blew up like in 2017, 2018. And like, because like 50 Cent wasn't like broke, but like he was broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like now he doesn't have to do vitamin water commercials and shit. So like, that's crazy. Like, imagine being.
So listen to this. So we're talking about basically gambling. So my
man.
dad
Yeah.
My dad and his girlfriend, they go to the casino every once in a while or whatever, and he usually gives her like $60 or whatever, and then she'll just keep playing or whatever. Maybe she wins, maybe $200 or whatever. And she was down to her last spot, I think $2 or $5, and she's like, I'm gonna get up and go to a different machine or whatever. Next guy bets 50 cents, wins 12 grand.
Oh damn!
How would you feel?
I would never want to go good.
Well, he tipped her $100, but man, imagine just going there with $60 and or 50 cents. That man instantly clicked right out. All he had to do was pay him 50 cents, and the man walked out with. I mean, they take taxes depending on if you want to pay in or whatever on your tax returns and shit like that. But I don't know if
I'm not gonna say names because I'm not gonna. But I have family that they won like, let's say $5,000 at the casino. They get like $400 back because they like owe the city so much money and shit. I'm like, bro, y'all playing your fucking selves. But they're like, we up 4.
So my dad.
Multiple times that's happened in my family. Like,
my dad keeps putting this on me because he watched.
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Someone won like 10K. It was not 10K.
No.
I'd be
It
sad.
was like 1,200. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
My dad literally
Not
watches.
paying taxes and shit for like 4 years. He's like,
No, but my dad, he's literally watches. He watches these slot machine videos all the time.
what?
So
What do you even learn from this? You know?
He loves watching this one guy. He doesn't have a job, but
Dude,
this
casinos
is
are one
all
of the
he
most
does.
evil things in the world. Like,
This guy literally, he showed me a couple of videos. He'll walk in with $5 grand and keep placing like $100 bets and shit like that.
there's a whole field of like psychiatry, like psychology is what I try to say, of like dedicated to this, like figuring out what's addicting enough to make you stay. It's a fixed variable. Like, it makes it so like, you know, not every 7th time you win. Obviously, it's not something like as simple as that. But like, it designed to stay, like keep you there, like give you little wins to feed you and to stay. Like,
And then it's also on the lighting. and everything in there. Like the bigger casinos, like they pump oxygen and stuff like that in there, so like you can keep drinking all day long and you're spending money. Like they do that in Vegas.
That's why they have whole positions that just go around giving people comp shit. Like their job is to keep you there.
Exactly. And
Shadow
I
Keith.
looked, but like I've looked into it, like what it would take to own a casino, and it
It's a
literally,
lot of money.
yes, it
But the
literally,
thing is that like there aren't that many casinos that shut down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It literally,
and in this town, bro, like you give someone a reason not to have to go to Wild Rose, like, dude, they both do good still, but like having 2 casinos, people would lose their minds about it.
Honestly, if you just had a place that had your
People drive all the way to like Jubers and shit. Like, yeah, well,
like, say like a bar or
the
something.
place like in Fulton, that Julie's place, they have like 4 or 5 slots and shit. Like that should be popping off for no reason.
Like they're always full, and you're like, okay.
well, I see people going in there sometimes. They'll go in with $20 and walk out with like $300-400. Like,
yeah, but you gotta imagine that place is taking in $2,000 by the hour type shit. So it's like, yeah, they'll pay that $340 to keep them come back. The next thing you know, like in the long span type shit, those type of people are never up. They're down like $20K in their life from that casino.
Yep. And then it's also the lighting. It's a psychological effect. You see all these people winning, and it makes you feel like you're gonna win when you see, because you only see the people that are hitting jackpots or hit big things. You see the buzzards going off like crazy and stuff like that, and you see how they're always saying, "Oh, for our people that have spent a lot of money here and hit some jackpots, we're doing a drawing just for you guys," and stuff like that, just to keep people. There's always drawings for people that go crazy on the slots machines and stuff like that.
It's like, it's true. That's just nuts. But it's smart though. You know what I mean?
It honestly is. Like I've gone to the casino and I've won one of the drawings or whatever. That drawing kept me there. It kept me there for 4 hours or whatever, just to see if I could win. Because I already spent all my money at the table. I only spent like $60, but I won $250 that night.
You know what I should do?
What?
No, okay. I was thinking of business schemes and stuff, which I don't know if that's a good way to say this, but like, you know how Instagram influencers, they always do like giveaways and shit, and it's literally just to like triple their followers and stuff. What if we take out a business loan for this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we buy 4 PS5s.
Dude, that honestly wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right?
You get a lot of traffic in there.
And we do a giveaway?
I did it. So I was on Twitch or whatever, and I was talking about doing giveaways.
No PS5s promised. That's just how we did.
And I was talking about giving giveaways, and people would flock in. Like, yeah, literally, I'd go from like 10 viewers to like 50 to 100. I'm like, okay.
Like and share for a chance to win a free 8th. Oh, hell.
No, the giveaway idea isn't a bad idea.
I'm not at that level yet.
It happens.
There'll be like 2 people enter. I'm like, oh shit. They won't make 2 PS4s.
No, I've seen people with like smaller businesses. Like there's this lady that goes up on my dad. She's a tattoo artist. She said it's $100 a ticket for an entry, and it's for a sleeve. But there has to be 100 people that get into it.
Oh fuck.
For once, so she's waiting. So she's waiting for that 100, and then that's $10,000 right there.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it.
What's that face for?
I mean, think about it. That's it might be $1,000 tattoo. She's making a $9,000 profit.
Well, a sleeve is usually pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe $2,000, depending on what you get and shit like that.
But that would be dope. That's a dope idea.
My dad's entering me in it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
And she's a damn good artist too.
I need more tattoos.
You need more tattoos?
I need more tattoos.
Hey bro, just let me tattoo you.
My friends have done it before.
Say less. I'll try it. I'll give her a shot.
You never done it before? You good
Nope.
artist at least?
I'm alright.
Oh man, that's what I like to hear.
I'm gonna have your drawing.
That's
Like,
not-
bro, can you give me a dog? It's gonna look like that mop over there.
Not what you like to hear. I bet you've done some once or twice. Haven't drawn since 8th grade.
If
Great
you
art.
if you let me tattoo you, I'll let you tattoo me.
I'm a terrible artist, and I got terrible handwriting, but I could try.
They're hot.
That happens.
Oh man, I don't know if I could do that.
What?
Tattoo song.
You might want to wait on those.
I don't like needles.
You don't like needles?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be as bad, obviously, doing it to someone else, but like, I don't know. You good? You want me to stop? I want to be able to just keep going. I don't think.
Bro, I'm gonna have to do some practice on some oranges or something, bro, before I get started.
Like my friend Alex, he tattoos on himself, and then like, well, obviously most people who do tattoos, it's like when they practice, they do that, and it's like I could never do that either. Like when I get a tattoo done, I don't like to be watching it. I like to be like, you know.
I don't have any tattoos, but I'd probably be the same way. I don't like needles going to my arm and shit like that. I'm good, thank you.
Sir.
Oh, we should let our viewers know we're eating.
Sponsored by Arby's.
You got an air fryer too?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. I
What is
recommend
it, a Ninja?
everyone get an air fryer.
Oh, bro, we have two at my house, and we have this one conventional oven. We cook steaks in that bitch. So imagine getting it crispy on the outside and then straight juicy. So it just
What's it looking like? Medium rare?
Oh yeah.
Last time I got a steak, I ordered it medium rare, as you should.
Mm-hmm.
This bitch came out well done. I was so disgusted. I didn't want to eat it. It was Texas Roadhouse.
Oh my god, I would have sent it back.
Last time I went to Steel Plow, I ordered
I don't
a
like confrontation.
medium, and they cooked it well done as well.
I'd be sick of
Yeah,
my
let's do
head.
that.
Except for when I get I like the country fried steak there with the gravy on top of it.
That's
I'll
pretty
eat it.
good.
I'll eat it well done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you kind of have to because you got to get it crispy.
That's just a different type of steak, though. You know, like that's good though.
Mhm.
That is fucking fire. My cousin, I won't say which one. They like to cook their steak well done, and then even use ketchup. And that shit's just like, you know.
They're sick in the
what's
head.
a greater
That literally
stick in the
lowers
face?
your credit score. All right? You're down to a 443 right now. All right, just even thinking about that.
I think I have a couple cousins who do that. Actually,
Man, that's why my grandma's struggling. She
And I'm
cooks
just
her.
like, bro,
She cooks her steak well done.
my roommate,
Everything well done.
He cooks steak fucking great.
Yes, you.
You got my mouth watering. Think about steak now. Damn.
That happens.
I'll give Texas Roadhouse another try.
We'll give it another try. I haven't had any terrible issues with Texas Roadhouse, but that was like 2-3 years ago. I haven't been there in a while. Been low on funds.
Me too.
I just don't go out of my way to Davenport much. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd rather go to like Chick-fil-A or something like that. You know,
that's
that's
fucking fire.
I know.
But it's like, how can we support it? You know?
We need to have a Chick-fil-A. That's what needs to happen.
What are we gonna do? Change the world but not eat Chick-fil-A? I don't think so. I'm gonna still get my fucking nuggets.
I swear. See, I took her Chick-fil-A virginity, and she's like, "We haven't been there forever," and I just
Their fries aren't the best, but I also don't hate them. You know
I
what
don't
mean?
hate them either.
I just usually don't like waffle fries, but like if I had to have waffle fries, I'd like those.
Their
They're
mac
pretty.
and cheese is so good, though.
Holy shit! I don't think I've ever had their mac and cheese.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it's so good. Have you ever had their breakfast?
No.
Oh my goodness, their breakfast is phenomenal.
What they got?
Bro, they have this like this bowl. They just throw eggs,
I've never
chicken.
been there early enough for breakfast.
Me neither.
It probably ends at like 9 a.m.
I think like 10. I think.
That's
Yeah.
early.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm in the Quad
I
Cities
know.
for
But
early in the
I'm
morning.
saying for us.
Yeah. But it's just like a whole concoction, man. I don't even know. It's just so good. And then they throw that sauce in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The
I go-
Chick-fil-A sauce is so good.
She don't like it.
You don't
The
like
woman,
it?
the woman does not like it.
Do you like honey mustard?
I like a little bit of honey mustard.
Because Chick-fil-A's honey mustard and barbecue.
I know, I like it together better than.
I like the Chick-fil-A sauce, but
I can literally eat it with anything.
right, he's got it in the door.
I literally got it in my door too. I'll eat
Right.
it with pizza. I'll eat it just
Pizza's
about
nice actually. I tried that one,
exactly.
great day.
Like, I've
It's
been
pretty
eating it
nice
with the
with a
pizza
lot.
rolls. That's what I'm
Corn
saying.
dogs.
Hey, I haven't tried it with corn dogs.
Corn
You know
dog,
what I
have a
seen?
Strip
Alright.
of cheese, little Chick-fil-A.
You know what I seen on Facebook? They cut a slice in the middle and they put chili and then put cheese over the corn dog.
See, though, that's doing a lot. Chili is a lot to cook.
I mean, you can get the chili in a
but
can.
Chili's good.
I've never
I mean-
had the
No,
chili
no.
in a can.
I mean, it's not as good as homemade, you know. But my grandma, she be cooking that sometimes.
I've never had it.
I mean, it's
I would imagine
it's more of a bland taste, honestly.
Well, chili's like not that hard to make, so I would imagine one company that made good chili in a can.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because there's some bad baked beans in a can, but there's some good ones too.
Mhm. Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
like baked
I don't know
beans.
what company she goes through.
What?
'Cause she just throws it
You
on the
don't like
stove
baked
accidentally.
That's crazy.
Are you some kind of communist?
You don't
No,
put
I-
Are you even
baked beans on your
American?
hot dog?
No.
Dude, okay, there's this one time. This is kind of a funny story involving baked beans, but okay. I was still living at my mom's house, and I was like really, really high, and I went out to the fucking fridge, and there was this Whopper in there. I was like, oh, sweet. And like last night for dinner, we had just made like baked beans for something, you know. So there's a shit ton left over. I was like, I know that Whopper would be good with some baked beans on it. So like microwave this shit up. I was eating it, and I'm like halfway done. My mom comes out. She's like, "What do you eat?" And I like show her. She's like, "Did you eat that Whopper from the fridge?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Ooh, that was Jenny's," and that's my aunt. She's like, "That was Jenny's Whopper, and that was sitting in her car for a week, and she just brought it into the fridge to feed to the dogs." I was like, "What the fuck? Why would you?" I was like, "Why'd you put that in the fridge? Why wouldn't you feed it to the dogs right away? Why would you even feed a dog a Whopper?" You know? But they do that type of shit all the time. And I'm over
Was
here
the
going
Whopper
through all
good?
this shit. It was fucking delicious. I literally sat there. I was like, "No, I finished it." I was like, "No, I can't fucking finish it. No, what I know now, how can I eat this?"
So me and my buddy, all right. So his grandma's kind of weird about her dog. Right? So we had another story like that, and so she started buying all these treats, and it looks like Oreos. It looks like
Yo,
peanut butter cookies and all that. You know what my friend's doing in there? He's just going to town, and he's like the Oreo looking package, and I'm like, dude, that package looks funny. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, these taste so good. I was like, what are you talking about? Let me look at it. It says for dogs. And I was like, how are you going to still eat that? He's like, it's pretty good. It's got like peanut butter in it. It's got this cream. I was like, what? I'm like, man, you've been eating a whole stack of fucking...
his hair never looked so good.
Man ate a whole line in a package, so it's like an Oreo. It's like the same size as an Oreo
See,
package.
the
He ate a
thing
whole
is-
line of dog treats.
As a kid, I've had those type of shit, and they're edible, but I wouldn't continue. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't eat them willingly. Like, I've tried certain
tried
dog
dog
treats,
treats,
but
yes.
like most of them taste gross. Like,
Yeah.
No.
they got a graininess to them.
So my uncle used to always
Really
do
crazy.
bets with me.
Do
He used
what?
to do bets with me.
Oh, bets. They said bets.
And
What?
I'd always go to the bar sometimes or whatever, and I'd help out because it was my uncle's bar and stuff like that.
How old were you?
5.
What do you mean help out?
Uh,
what were you doing?
Just, I mean, if they needed, I don't know, stupid shit. All right, they're just keeping me busy. So they wanted me at the bar. All right, don't call DHS, okay? But my uncle long sold that one. But he'd always bring in dog treats. He's like, Dominic, I'll give you $5 if you eat this with me. I was like, bet. I like $5. I'm 5. I think $5 is a lot. You know, you go to the dollar
What's one
store.
dog treat for real? I'll be doing the same.
And dude, I probably ate like a 20-pound bag full of dog food in my lifetime, just of all the stuff all the certain different shit that he's brought in. He would bring in the bacon strips.
Those are awful. I hate that.
Those
You tried it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Me
happens.
too.
Oh, man, I don't even know. He just give me a glass
I
of
was
water
tricked
at
with
that
the
point.
whole, it tastes like real bacon. No, don't. Tastes like your dog ate bacon and then licked you in the mouth. Like, this shit's gross. That same texture too, like,
You feel like you got some
I took
worms
one bite,
right when
like-
you eat it?
not for me.
No, man. My family would always get me to do some dumb shit. It was pretty funny though. It's a lot of good stories. I mean, like, this is terrible. My uncle, he's like, I was also 5. He's like, hey, you ever tried chew before? I was like,
Chew?
yeah, chew. Like a little lips dips you put in your lip. And I was like, no. He's like, yeah, try some. I'll give you $1. I was like, okay.
At 5?
Yeah. And he's
Oh,
like,
man, the biggest buzz of your life.
I put it in. I was like, man, this tastes spicy. And then literally not even 5 minutes later, I threw it all out. And I'm like, what? What the heck? And I start throwing up everywhere.
Yeah.
Look at me now. Nicotine pouches.
Dude, one of my
Disposables.
friends, when he first started dipping, it was like he was 17, I think, when he like, first tried it, you know? It was like one of the only times I've seen someone like projectile vomit, like fucking straight. I was like, Jesus Christ. Look at me now.
Swear.
But I've never dipped before.
No.
I mean, I have to with my job because there's certain areas like we
Did
go
you
into.
say you have to?
I have to.
No.
I need nicotine.
You walk there, they're like, dip required. You're like, shit, I left it at home. They got little pouches you can buy up.
No, I'll be like, hey bro, you got some dip? And,
Why can't you hit your disposable?
like sometimes like we're going to hospitals or nursing homes and stuff
Dude,
like
I
that.
still
So
be sneaky in his.
no. I try to respect them because they'll walk you out the door if they catch you.
And yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I like my job. So I mean, there's certain
So
like
dip
you-
in the lip.
yeah, well, lipsy dipsy. Ain't never hurt nobody.
I hate dip.
Me too. It even smells gross. Like
I mean, regular dip. Yeah.
You
I get the
the
nicotine pouches. Yeah, I get the nicotine pouches.
Those burn. I tried one, dude. It burned.
I'll be throwing in like sometimes I get a little stressed out at work. I'll be throwing in 2, maybe 3.
What ones? The 6 or the 3s?
The 6.
Jesus. Bro, the 6 I put in, it was in my mouth for like 2 minutes before I was like, nope. That burns. That burns.
Yeah, it happens. That happens.
Oh, man. Well, we're about... Yeah, well, it is time for an ad break, so that's what I was about to say. Good looks. We'll be right back. Oh, man. And we're back. So, Darren, what were you talking about?
All right, so I was wanting to talk about some experiences I've had with some ghosts. All right, as some would say, or just paranormal experiences. I have quite a few actually. I've been seeing here's the weird shit. So every time that I've been with my dad, I've experienced something growing up.
Think he's just haunted then?
Oh, he was. So he explained why he was.
Oh,
all right. So
he's like, and this is why you're gonna inherit.
We had this house that was in our family for probably 3 generations. All right. The house is over 150 years old and stuff like that. Yeah, people have died in it. And I've seen some shit in that house. So at the time or whatever, I'm probably like 10 years old. And I remember I'm laying in my room. It's a 6-bedroom house, 1 bathroom, but it's a huge ass bathroom. The house is fucking huge. And I'm upstairs or whatever. It's just me and my dad in the house. And I'm looking down the hallway. The light's always on or whatever. And my TV's facing, so my bed's pointing towards the door, and I can see down the hallway. And all of a sudden, I hear some creaking coming up the stairs, and I see a shadow coming up. And I'm thinking, oh, it's my dad. And then I see a second one. I'm like, wait, it's only my dad here. So, like any 10-year-old, I instantly turn my TV off, crank my fan up all the way. I shut my door. As I see them getting closer, I'm like, oh, hell no. And I throw the blankets over my head and went straight to sleep. We'd have times in that house where the TV would turn up all the way and it'd just be pure static. Or we'd get woken up to pipes. It sounds like someone's downstairs with a sledgehammer banging on the pipes. There was another instance where my dad, it was just him home. And he explained that he was laying in bed and we had a cat at the time. And the light's off or whatever. And he feels something climb up in the bed with him. and he just sees. He turns his light on, and he just sees an imprint in the bed just slowly sink, like the size of a dog, just sink right next to him. I mean, I don't know what that man would do, but my ass would be leaving.
Right?
But what he did when he was younger in that house, he did a Ouija board. When he was like 13.
Of course you did.
And ever since then, like, he tried throwing it away. The Ouija board would show back up on his front steps.
No.
And he's also said, like, this is the scariest thing he said that he's seen. He was down by the ADM railroad tracks, and he's seen a figure standing down at the tracks. This is broad daylight, by the way, with it looked like a crow mask.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And and then anytime like my dad would move, shit would just followed him. And like I remember I first moved up to Wisconsin with him, and I lived up there for a little bit, didn't have a bedroom, slept in the living room. And I'm sleeping in the living room with the dog, and all of a sudden I hear footsteps walking out. And by the way, it's all wood floors, and the front door it's a glass door, and it has a curtain in front of it, but it was open, so the moonlight was coming in, and so you could sort of see or whatever without a light on and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, my dog perks up.
Hella dramatic and shit.
Yeah, my dog perks up, ears are sticking down, and it literally, as you hear the footsteps walking across the living room floor, her head is following those footsteps. I was like, oh hell no. I'm going to bed. All right. I'm like, fuck this. All right. That's why, like, I've always had to like sleep with a fan on, because like I've always hear weird shit and stuff like that, and it needs to drown out any noise that I hear.
Okay, I'm getting better with the TV though.
The fan and the TV on because of that shit. I hate it. And like in the country, you just hear all sorts of shit outside.
Oh,
Feel like someone's fucking clawing at your window. You're like, no, I'm not fucking checking and see what that is. What the fuck? And it's just like a branch or something. But
yeah, and then
you don't know.
Yeah, and then another time in that same apartment, me and my dad are out in the living room, lights on, all the other lights in the house are off, and we're just chilling out in the living room, and all of a sudden we're just talking or whatever, and we hear bang, and it sounds like glass is breaking, a bunch of shit just fell down, and I'm like, what the fuck? The dog's out here with us? So we go out there to investigate. Kitchen is spotless. I'm like, what the fuck fell? And he had wine glasses up on the cabinet, so we're like, man, all the wine glasses look there. Floor looks clean. We look up at the ceiling, and the light fixture fell down. The glass that covered the light fell down, and we're like, what the fuck? And we looked at it, and it had a knob that it took an inch to unscrew. Nothing in the house shook. Nothing along those lines. And so what else could it be? And scariest thing that ever happened to me, I was with my ex at the time, and we're sleeping out in the living room in the same apartment. My dad, since he's always seen shit, he's always very spiritual and stuff, so he always had like salt lamps and all sorts of stuff to keep bad spirits away and shit like that. Because my dad highly believes in that stuff. He feels he's very sensitive and he's very open to spirits and stuff like that. And I feel like I'm on the same level as him. And I mean, not as to the extreme that he is, but I mean, I'm just a little bit more duller to it, or not as intense as he is. But we're laying out in the living room. I got my son, my ex, and me. And my son's asleep, and the salt lamp's the only thing on, so it's orange in there. So it's orange. We hear footsteps coming, and all of a sudden I see a black, dark figure, and he's wearing a suit.
No.
Wearing a suit, top hat, and his face is smushed in, and it's flat. No. So he's faceless. My ex sees it. She screams. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm freaking out. And my dad's like, what's going on? And I'm like, we just saw something. And he's like, nah, you're just seeing shit or whatever. And like, he kind of got quiet about it, and he just kind of got us to, like, quit freaking out and stuff like that. And he's like, no, I believe you. But he said he hasn't seen anything like that, but that was creepy as fuck because we have a memory foam in the living room, and it started walking towards us, and then she screamed and disappeared. That's like imprinted in my head.
That sounds fucking terrifying.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
But then, so here's what's been a relief. My dad went to some kind of medium or something along those lines, and she did something, and he said, I don't know if it was some kind of ritual or something, and she says you've had something latched onto you for a very long time. And he said while they were doing the ritual, he couldn't stop shaking his hand. Like she said it wasn't letting go of his hand. She had to keep redoing the ritual and keep on doing it until his hand stopped shaking or something along those lines. And then ever since then, I haven't seen anything since I've gone up to my dad's.
Damn.
Oh yeah. All right, let's hear some of your paranormal activities.
Well, they don't sound like shit compared to that.
I have one, but yeah, it does not. That was
Okay.
crazy. Okay. I was living in my mom's house, so I think I was about like 10 or 11. But some of her friends were over and they were taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Okay, so my mom and her friends were all hanging out and they're looking through old pictures, and there was this old guy standing behind my mom and her friend in our pictures at our house, but we did not know this old guy at all. Like, no one knew who he was, and it was just my mom and her best friend in the photo, and this old guy was just lingering behind them.
So, like, when my grandma died and stuff like that.
Wait, that was it?
Well, yeah, the house would like creak and stuff.
Time out. So
they took a picture. And
right,
they didn't notice it.
Photobomb them? That's what it was?
Yeah, ghost photobomb. He wanted in. All right. But I've actually, since I was little, I'd say right after my grandma died or whatever, I don't know if you like orbs and stuff like that. You can get like spiritual energy or whatever that'll pop up in your pictures and stuff like that. For the longest time, like every picture I had taken, I'd have like a couple orbs like over my shoulders or whatever. We try different cameras. We try all sorts of shit, and every single probably for the couple years I had orbs over my shoulders, either one or whatever. I'd have like 2 or 3 just over my shoulders at like in every photo. We'd change cameras and we'd switch houses and stuff like that, and I'd always have orbs. I'm pretty sure it's my grandma, but I could be. But it was just weird right after she died that I started getting stuff like that. Like all of our pictures would be kind of messed up too, trying to whenever I was in them. So that was pretty wild. And then on top of that old house that was in my family, I remember one time I came home from school too, and so we had like 2 living rooms at that house, and then the living room and the kitchen, in between that were the set of stairs that went upstairs. So you could get to the stairs either side or whatever. So I'd always come through the kitchen and go upstairs. I remember one time I got my dogs and stuff like that, and I'm walking up the stairs, and all of a sudden I hear a knock behind me, right on the wall. I'm like, oh fuck. I start walking up just a couple more steps, I hear a knock on the other side of the wall. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to my mom's. And I didn't go back for like a couple weeks. But that house was sketchy. It was over 150 years old. My grandma said she would see older people in that house a lot. My grandma said back in the 80s or 90s, they were trying to sell the house, and some lady came in and looked at it, and a 2-year-old fell out the second story window and died. That house has a lot of history. And then when my dad gutted it and stuff like that as well, like we were finding games from like 1910 and stuff like that, just newspaper articles and all sorts of cool shit from there. We got a lot of like he found these like, I don't even know how to describe them. He calls them a moon rock, there was like a weird rock in the flooring that someone put there, and he has like 3 of them. But he says like if you crack them open or something like that, they have some kind of crystals or something in there. But those are some of the cool stuff that we still have from that house. What were you gonna say? You're going, like.
Well, that's how you get the hauntings. You bring that shit forward. That's why you're.
But I have another one. My grandma Cox's house was definitely haunted. I think an old couple murdered themselves in the basement, and all the kids would have to go in the basement to play because that's where everything, like all the adults would be upstairs cooking, and then we'd be downstairs playing in the fuse well and stuff. And doors would shut, and then like there was one time there was a bar there, and we were just sitting, not actual booze or anything. They had pop and stuff, but all the lights turned off. We were just sitting there, and all the lights turned off. We don't know if anyone was upstairs, but the light switches were upstairs, so it would be possible, but.
Yeah, they were probably just fucking with you.
Oh my god. It scared us all, though. That was when we were young.
Yeah, they definitely were fucking with you. So you guys have some pretty interesting stuff.
Okay, wait a minute. Drayton, I always forget who was there. I only have 2. I have the one with the stairs and the one with the closet. You know what I'm talking about?
The stairs was with me. The closet was with Alex and Dustin.
Or Keegan?
Yeah.
See, I don't remember Keegan being there. I remember Alex, but I don't
I
remember.
was in my room watching
Okay.
Supernatural.
So let's.
You're watching Supernatural.
We'll talk about the 2. All right, I'll talk about the one that we were both there for, the stairs. So okay, this was back in our old house, which there was 6 bedrooms. There was 3 upstairs and 3 downstairs, because it was me, Drayton, and then my mom and her boyfriend and his 2 stepkids. Okay, and the stepkids only came over like every other weekend or some shit like that.
Not stepkids, like real
And
kids.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Half.
They're his real kids.
It was his kids. It was our step siblings,
Okay.
but not. It
Really.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
Shit's-
got it.
But anyways, they were annoying. They were like just like, I don't remember their ages, but they were both below 10 at the time. You know what I mean? Around there.
Mm-hmm.
One was like 6, one was 10. And they were just obnoxious, you know. And we were teenagers, so we were trying to be edgy and cool. But
Emo phase.
there was one time I really didn't like. I don't know how much I should talk about it. Dude. Okay, so there was one time we were babysitting them, and like I hated them, and like she came upstairs and asked me something. I was like, "Hey, let's have a pillow fight." And she said, "Okay." So I put the pillow over her and I just started punching her around because I was, you know what I mean. But anyways, so we thought
Nobody was hurt in this reenactment.
me and Drake were like playing Call of Duty or some shit. I thought that's what we were doing in the living room.
No, we were watching TV. Because it would be when we were fast forwarding through the commercials, it would be silent, and I'd hear running up and down the stairs. I look at you and be like, "You hear something?"
And it
you're
sounded like what happened was like there was the bedroom for downstairs were those 2 kids, you know, and then another room that wasn't being used at the time. But anyways, so the rooms were down there, and when we babysat, we were just like, "Hey, stay down there, leave us alone," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they were fucking around. They were fucking running up and down the stairs and flipping the light switch and shutting and closing the door to the hallway. And like I yelled at them to stop, and they stopped. And then they kept doing it. And then my mom comes home later, and I was like, "Can you tell those 2 kids?" I said their names, but I was like, "To shut the fuck up." And like, "What are you talking about? They're not here. It's not our weekend." I'm just like, "No." You know what I mean? Like, me and Drayden have been here the whole fucking night downstairs, like playing and shit, and like, you know, like, what do you mean? Like, no, y'all are crazy. I'm like, that's fucking no. That's when I was scared, because like when we first moved into that house, bro, and the barn outside, because it was a farmhouse, like there was a barn and a stable for horses and shit, and in the barn, in the upper spot where like they keep the hay, there was like 3 mummified dead cats. Like,
Oh hell
You remember
no!
that
That's
shit?
some cult shit.
right? Like,
Yeah.
man, like, what the fuck we doing up here? Like, you know, trying to preserve dead cat bodies and shit, and like they were up there for like they were, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. The second one, this one's almost even kind of scarier in my opinion, because like that shit was scary, but I was like always trying to like, nah, it was just creaky. You know what I mean? creaky doors, creaky floors, like
No,
the house shifted.
I was there.
But like it
I
was
was
sounded
fucking
like it
there.
literally like you could hear the noise coming up and down the stairs. You know what I mean? It sounded like them running down like
Bro.
they always fucking do. Like
No, because and then like they kept on running up and down the stairs.
and like
looking
us
up
yell,
for-
like I'd be screaming like "shut the fuck up" their names, you know, and they would stop for a while. Like it just kept happening.
We ended up calling mom. That's what happened. We're like, hey, get the fuck home and take care of these kids because they're not they're not listening to us. And she's like, well, they're not home, so. And we're like, what? And so me and you went downstairs looking around for Emily and Ethan, and we didn't find shit.
Oh, you said their names.
You said
Oh,
the names.
fuck.
That's okay. Who gives a fuck? No one's gonna piece it together. Anyways, the second one. So that house, it had 2 living rooms, like not big ones, you know what I mean, but like 2 ones. And so we were in one of them in the front of the house, but the other side, there was like this room, living room, kitchen, and another one. You know, and then that room was like where you first walk in. So like basically, it wasn't even a living room. It was just like
A dining room or
kind of a dining room, but it was just like there was like 2 couches in there. And then we put our coats and shoes and shit. You know what I mean? Like
so like a mud room basically.
Yeah. And so, me and my cousin, and I guess my other cousin, but I don't remember one of them being there. But we were watching TV. We were watching The Walking Dead. See, okay, that makes sense actually because it was Keegan's Walking Dead we were watching, so he had to have been there. But okay. We were all like binging The Walking Dead. Like this was the prime time, you know.
Yeah.
Like only season 5 had just came out, and like my cousin had like seasons 1 through 4 on DVD, so we're all watching it, fucking loving it.
Oh, dude, that was me too.
Dude,
I even set up. My dad gave me a surround sound, man.
right,
And I hooked that up in my bedroom, and it felt like I was in The Walking Dead.
right. And so you know, we're all a little on edge. We're watching the zombie show. No, but like what happened? The closet door of that room opened up, and living room, kitchen, and that room. The closet was in that entryway, right? When it opens up, it blocks that doorway, so like you can't go in if that closet's open, you know. So you have to close that door. So we seen the door open. Well, what happened to the door open? We heard it open, you know. Then you hear footsteps and a girl laughing, and me and my cousin looked at each other. And we're like, who the fuck is that? You know? We both thought it was the stepkids again. And then like, they weren't here. Like, we knew like they weren't there. Like, I was like, that would be the only thing that could have been. And like, we were terrified because the closet door's like that. And so I don't even want to fucking go shut that door and look in that room, you know? But so there's 2 ways down to the basement. One is in that mud room. There's just stairs right down to it. And then in the hallway of all our bedrooms, there's that stairs where we heard the running up and down. And so I was looking at that door, terrified something was going to just open it, you know, because I was like, okay, if they're on the other side of the room, they could have went downstairs and then come up these stairs. I'm over here fucking freaking out. Like, I was such a fucking dipshit. I had like swords and shit as a kid. I went and got those and shit. Think I could fight some spirits or something, but you know what I mean? As if I'm not just going to die. Like,
It happens.
That was terrifying because like we all like heard the laugh, you know what I mean? The door itself could have been like if you forget to close it, it would slowly open. But like it went from being shut to like being open fully. Like we heard it hit the fucking door frame thing, and that's what. Then we heard the laughing, and we're like, no, what the fuck is that? Like. The thing, like, oh, what if it was a show? No, it was literally between the episodes that we were all getting up and getting ready to go fucking cook stuff in the microwave and shit. Like, you know, like,
Intermission.
Yeah, for real though. Like, it's just crazy. Like, that shit's terrifying.
I had so
Other than that,
I have like a couple more. I remember my grandma died when I was 8 months old. And so I didn't know anything about her. I mean, my mom didn't talk much about her to me or whatever because she's 18 and she has basically a toddler, and you know she's already an emotional wreck because she just lost her mom. She didn't really talk much about her to me. And like there'd be multiple occasions or whatever. I was like between the ages 2 to 4, and this happened a lot. Where I'd be in the corner playing.
Do you
And
remember
talking.
this?
No, my
Okay.
mom explained it all to me.
I was like, man, that's an impressive memory. I don't remember shit.
And
I have no childhood memories.
I only remember from like 5. I remember stuff from like when I was like 5. All I remember is falling down the stairs and nobody would.
I
catch
remember
me.
some days at like school, but like
They're all standing there and I'm falling down the stairs. It's like slow motion. It's like a slow motion memory.
I remember one time, like I think this is one of the only fights I've ever been in. It was like 2nd grade, and we were playing Power Rangers at recess, and they wouldn't let me be the red Power Ranger, and I had like the red Power Ranger gloves on. I was like, I'm the red fucking Power Ranger. And this other guy named Sean, he's like, not today. Like he said that, and I was like, no. And I started hitting him.
That's why you're a badass kid.
Like I didn't get like I don't get in fights and shit. Like that was the only time I've ever like hit someone. Like there was never being the Red Ranger.
Don't fuck around with this Power Rangers, my man. No, but so I'm
I
like,
got my ass beat as a kid like 2 times.
it happens.
One time, I think I was in 3rd grade, and this 5th grader beat me the fuck up, bro. You remember?
You were squirting you with the water gun.
Yeah, I was.
He told you to stop.
He
He
said-
told you multiple times. He said,
He
"You do
said-
that again, I'm gonna beat your ass."
Yeah. He said like 3 times. He was like, dude, squirt me with that fucking water gun. I'm gonna beat your ass. And I was like, oh really? And I hit him. And he's like, dude, I'm not fucking playing one more time, and I'm gonna hit you. And I did it. And he's like, dude, I'm not fucking playing. And I did it, and they beat my ass.
Okay, that's you asking for it there. Like he.
Yeah, I was definitely tested.
It happens. But back to the paranormal.
Yeah.
So my mom would catch me talking in the room to myself and stuff like that. You know, every little kid sometimes got imaginary friends and stuff like that. And she'd be like, "Oh, who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm talking to Grandma." So one day we're driving, and we go past our old house. I'm 3 years old, by the way. And she's like, my mom's never pointed it out or anything like that. She said, yeah, you pointed right over to her house and said that's Grandma's house. She said that's the one you're talking to, and that's what she told you. There's been shit like that. She's caught me talking and stuff like that, and she said that went on until I was like 4-ish or whatever.
Fuck. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the weird thing. What is it? Whether you want to say like there are ghosts or not, with the studies, like why is it that animals and children are more keen to seeing that shit?
I don't know.
Like that's but like
because
that's
they're
what most
innocent.
studies
Because
say.
they're
That's what I'm-
it's
like, what?
and you know I've had dogs. I've had all sorts of shit. Like they freak out when they hear that shit or when they see that shit. Like I remember my dog Gonzo. I would be down in the basement with my dad and the lights would be off and he'd be growling at the corner, just going nuts and and shit like that. And I mean,
That's when you know to get fucking scared when you got your like dog on edge and they're like staring
They're
at something.
yeah,
they're,
and
like,
it's
watching it move.
there's
You're like,
you're
what
looking
the
over there
fuck?
and you see nothing,
Yep.
and their
And they're not
hair's
just
all
staring.
standing.
They're literally like
They're
watching. Like,
they're
you know,
watching. Their hair's sticking up.
Dude,
And they're, like,
Sophie would
in it.
stare all the
Ellie.
time.
Ellie would beat me sometimes. I'm like, oh no.
Well, it fucking scared the shit out of me those couple times when I'm sitting with my dog and she's watching. Just slowly turning her head like someone's walking right by.
Well,
No.
my little cousin, I was living with my aunt after my mom died, and I would catch her talking outside, and I'd be like, "Who are you talking to?" She goes, "Aunt Manna," and that's what she called my mom, and I was like, "No, what?" She goes, "She's literally right there. She was just pushing me." And I'm like, oh, "Okay."
Pushing you, honey, we're taking you to the priest down the street. You better stop that pushing.
The freeze.
And then we had another time. I mean, there's been multiple times my dog would growl and stuff like that. But there's another time it was me and my buddy. We're sitting upstairs at my grandma's house, and she has a lot of animals. So, but at the time, all of her cats were at the vet getting a haircut. Her dogs were outside That's after we went downstairs and looked. But we're like, I don't know if you guys ever watch like the Discovery Channel or anything like that, and you hear like a mountain lion growling or something like that. We heard like a deep growl right outside my door, and I'm like, oh, that must be one of the cats. And like it was like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like it was.
Sounds like a fucking demon, bro. I play a lot of Phasmophobia.
Like it was. I don't know. It sounded like a rabid animal, like a rabid, like mountain lion or something like that. And
Something about Tiger King.
yeah. And my buddy looks at me, and I look at him. I was like, "Yeah, thanks." Like, yeah. I was like, "You want to leave?" He's like, "Yeah."
No, but this fucking tiger on the loose. Almost like right in this room, actually.
And I'm like, "Oh no, man, that must be one of the cats." I go downstairs, talk to him. I was like, "Hey,
That must be one of the cats, though. Damn, well, we ain't got no cats.
I'm like, "Grandma, are the cats here?" "Oh no, they're getting haircuts."
Oh, cool.
And I look out the glass
It's
window and I
haircut
see the dogs outside. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, Grandma, we're just gonna leave for a little bit." Didn't come back for a fucking week. I see shit like that. I don't come back to the house for a while.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't come back at all, I don't think.
It's the end already.
Oh,
Came fast. Well, what do we say at the end?
Stay soft.
Stay soft. Thank you for listening. Another episode in what, like 2 to 3 weeks, probably. Who knows when it's coming, but it's coming.
It's coming.
Coming
we
soon.
got some exciting topics to talk about. So peace.
Peace out.
Bye.